Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss diuretics. Diuretics and other topics of our unit second, and medicine chemistry second, BP 501T subject code. So now we are discussing it about the meaning of the diuretics. What is the meaning of the diuretics? As the diuretics, the meaning of the diuretics here means drug which are responsible for increasing the volume. Urine volume, you can say that to be increased. Drugs which are used in treatment and you can say increasing the urine volume, that are called as diuretics. Means drugs which are used to promote to increase the secretions of water and sodium ions from the kidney or from the nephrons, or you can say indirectly, you can say the urine volume will be increased. So a drug which are responsible for increasing the urine volume or urine secretions, that secrete the urine volume or urine secretions, that can increase urine secretions, that is increase, that is called as diuretics. So look at here, what is the important things. As we know, the urine formation takes place into the kidney. Kidney is responsible for urine formation. And in the kidney, the functional unit is nephron. Nephron is a functioning unit of kidney. So as we know, the nephron is responsible for the urine formation basically. Now we know, we are discussing the structure of the nephron. This is roughly a structure diagram of the structure of the nephron. In the nephron, the blood, you can say artery or blood vessels, that efferent artery, that is, you can say efferent artery is coming and is bringing the blood, and diameter of this is the large, and afferent form is outside and form here a network, and the diameter of the afferent is slow, means you can say narrow, sorry. So here is the broad, here is the narrow. So I can say the blood pressure will increase here in this capsule, that is called as Bowman capsule. This is called as Bowman capsule. So in this Bowman capsule, the pressure will increase, and due to this pressure, what happen, that urine is get filtered, because they are capillaries, they are unicellular capillaries, and the wall of this Bowman capsule is also the same unicellular. So you can say blood can easily filter from this, and the urine that is formed here, the filtrate urine, you can say that passing through the loop of Henle. This is the proximal distal tubule. This is the ascending loop of Henle. This is the descending loop of Henle, and it is a collecting tubules or collecting ducts. Here is what you can say, when the blood is filtered and blood passing through, that the blood is filtered and urine is passing through, then urine is a you can say hypertonic. In the ascending loop of Henle, the you can say urine is, you can say, hypotonic. Hypotonic because the water content is more, and water content is high here, and in the ascending loop of Henle, the sodium ions and water get reabsorbed, and this effluent artery again it's form a network here, and you can say again this water get reabsorbed into this artery again. So what happened, you can say 99% water again reabsorbed. 99% water and sodium get reabsorbed, and due to that's why only you can say the urine volume will get reduced, and finally you can say the urine is formed and collected here in the collecting ducts. So that is the physiology part of nephron and kidney, in which you can say blood get filtered in glomerular filtrations, then reabsorption and secretion part is takes place. Reabsorption part of the reabsorption of sodium and water mainly takes place into the loop of ascending loop of Henle. So these diuretics they act on the ascending loop of Henle. In ascending loop of Henle, they prevent the reabsorption of sodium ions and water, and sodium ions and water reabsorption will reduce. So what happen, the urine volume will increase because the reabsorption of the water will take place. With reabsorption of water become the very less. So that we had discussed about the, can say, physiological part of the nephron and kidney. Now we are discussing the next another part here, that one thing that we had discussed, we had understood here that diuretics they are responsible for increasing urine volume, urine formations, and promote the secretion of the urine by decreasing the tubular reabsorptions of the sodium ions and, you can say, water from kidney tubules, or you can say nephrons. So that is the important, and the diuretics mainly they are used basically to, you can say, reduce the blood pressure. They are using basically to reduce the blood pressure, as well as in disorders in the kidney. Somewhere in the reabsorption, you can say, disorders takes place into the kidney. So in that case, the diuretics they are giving to increasing the blood urine volume can be increased by this. So as a diuretics, now we are discussing the classifications of the diuretics. As we had discussed the meanings of the diuretics, now we are discussing the classification of the diuretics. So on the basis of the structural basis, we can classify diuretics in different category. First category is the osmotic diuretics. Osmotic diuretics, that means diuretics which are responsible for build up the osmotic pressure into the nephron. So that are called as the osmotic diuretics, and these osmotic diuretics they become the urine more hypertonic, and urine become more hypertonic, then reabsorption of water will be lower down. So by this way these diuretics will act. Another class, that is mercurials. Mercurials means made up with the mercury. Some diuretics they are made up with the mercury or mercurials, we will discuss. Another third class, that is acid forming salts. Some acid forming salts, some salts are there that form the acids, they form the acid salt. So acid salt formations, due to the what happen, the reabsorption of water will be lower down. Then another class is carbonic anhydrase inhibitor. Carbonic anhydrase is an enzyme which is responsible for water reabsorptions. So that can be inhibited by drugs, and the reabsorption of the water will be lower down. Another important class, that is the benzthiazine, benzthiazines. Benzthiazines is an important class of diuretics that is responsible for reabsorption, inhibitions of reabsorptions of water and sodium at the ascending lobe of Henle. Another class is quinazolinone derivatives. Quinazoline structure, that is quinazolinone, this is the structure of the quinazolinone, you can say that is, this is called as quinazolinone. So quinazolinone here, the double bond would be the, we can say, ketonic group here, the quinazolinone. So these types of structure, there is quinazolinone, and the quinazolinone structure that is present, that we will discuss in other, they are using as a anti, you can say diabetic, you can say diuretic drugs. Sorry. So another class is thelimidine derivatives. Thelimidine groups that contain the thelimide, you know, these are the thelimide group, and this is the thelimide, and the thelimidine, there is substitutions of this part that is called as the thelimidine. Okay, that we will discuss. Another is thelimidine is amide of thalic acid. Okay, this is the thalic acid. I hope you know about that. This is the thalic acid. Dicarboxylic acid is the thalic acid, and they are the thelimide. They are amide of the thalic acid. Another next class is of the drug is high ceiling diuretics. High ceiling diuretics means that can increase the urine volume, and by, you can say, very high, you can say, as a potent diuretics, you can say they are called as high ceiling diuretics. Like we will discuss another thing, like high ceiling, like furosemide, ethacrynic acid, they all are high ceiling diuretics. They increase the urine volume very fast. Another class, that is anti-hormone derivatives. Anti-hormone means hormone which are responsible for the urine formations, like aldosterone. So some drugs are antagonized to the aldosterone, so that we will discuss in, that will become under the anti-hormone derivative. Another, the potassium sparing diuretics. Some drugs are responsible for potassium ions sparing, because you know, and when the sodium ion absorptions of sodium ion takes place from the nephron by into the intracellular, and the excretions of potassium ion takes place. So the potassium sparing diuretics, they inhibit this excretion of sodium potassium ions, and by this we can say indirectly absorption of the sodium ions will be prevented or will be terminated. And last class, that is the xanthine derivative. Xanthine derivatives, you know, like caffeine like tea, you know, when we are eating we are drinking tea, then what happen, we feeling the urinations. So because the caffeine is the diuretics, so we will discuss these all in the, these are 11 classes of the diuretic class of the drug that we will discuss in the next coming classes or video lectures. Today we are going to discuss one class of diuretics, that is osmotic diuretic. That I have told you that osmotic diuretics are considered low molecular weight compounds that are not extensively metabolized and are passively filtered through the Bowman capsule into the renal tubules. Once the renal tubules, once in the renal tubule, they have a limited reabsorptions, and they form a hypertonic solutions and cause water pass through the body into the tubules and producing the diuretic effect. So what do you mean by this? This because the osmotic diuretics, they are low molecular weight compounds, and that the compounds will not be metabolized in our body. So unmetabolized form, these low molecular weight compound will be filtered from the glomerulus capsules. We have Bowman capsule or glomerulus filtrations. They will be filtered out. They will come here, and they reaching these portions, that is ascending loop of Henle. Then what happen? They increase the tonicity of the urine, and because the urine here the hypotonic, but they make the urine here the hypertonic. So when the urine become hypertonic, then you can say water will not be reabsorbed, because these the compound, the molecule, these compound, they make the hypertonic solutions, so water will not be reabsorbed. So I hope you understood the meaning of this. There is osmotic diuretics, because they indirectly you can say they increase the osmotic pressure into the uh, nephron, okay, or you can say tubules. Now the drugs that we will be used as a diuretics, sorry, as a osmotic diuretics, basically the osmotic diuretic, like they all are the polyols. Polyols means number of hydroxyl groups, like mannitol, sorbitol, isosorbide. Mannitol, this is mannitol is mannose, you can say there is a monosaccharide, so it's a hydroxyl compound of the mannose. Sorbitol, this is hydroxyl compound of the glucose, and isosorbide, these are the cyclic form of the sorbitol. So these three drugs, mannitol, sorbitol, and isosorbide, basically they are sweet in nature, and they are formed from the carbohydrate. The mannitol is formed from mannose. Mannose is a monosaccharide. Sorbitol from the glucose, and this isosorbide is formed from the sorbitol. See, all these drugs, they are called as the osmotic diuretics. When we are giving this, because they are the non-toxic, because they are by metabolic part, or by metabolites of our carbohydrate moiety, so they are not toxic, so we can give them these drug to the patient. So what happen, these mannitol will not be mannitol, sorbitol, they are not, because they are polar drug, they are the hydrophilic drug, polar drug. When we are giving these types of drug, they will bypass to the liver, they will not metabolize, and they will excrete it by the kidney, and the molecular weight also very less, molecular size is very less, so they can filter from the Bowman capsule, and after the filtrations they will come into the collecting ducts, and we can say ascending loop of Henle, and where what happen, these drugs make the urine as a hypertonic solutions, because normally they are at the ascending loop of Henle, urine is the hypotonic solution, but these compounds make them hypertonic. As we know, the compound becomes the hypertonic, then drug will not be, I can say water will not be reabsorbed into the blood, and when it will not be reabsorbed, then you can say pressure, can say urine, the water will be there into the urine, and urine volume definitely will increase. So by this mechanism, these drugs, mannitol, sorbitol, and isosorbide, they act, and they are called as osmotic diuretics. So that's all for today. We will discuss in the next class and next video. We will discuss about next part of the, you can say, diuretics. Okay, the next class of the diuretics that we will classified here. So mercurial diuretics and others we will discuss into the next class. I'm again revising this whole section in the Hindi again, so that would be useful for you. जैसे कि आज हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं डायूरेटिक्स, और डायूरेटिक्स का मतलब क्या है, वो ड्रग जो कि यूरिन वॉल्यूम बढ़ाए या यूरिन का सिक्रीशंस बढ़ाए। हमारी किडनी में हम जानते हैं कि जो यूरिन का फॉर्मेशन कौन करता है, हमारी किडनी करती है। किडनी में फंक्शनिंग यूनिट होता है नेफ्रॉन, और हमने अभी देखा था, डिस्कस किया था कि नेफ्रॉन के डिफरेंट पार्ट होते हैं, आपने पढ़ा होगा, जो कि एक ग्लोमेरुलस वोमन कैप्सूल या ग्लोमेरुलस फिल्ट्रेट, जहाँ फिल्ट्रेशन होता है, वोमन कैप्सूल जहाँ पे फिल्ट्रेशन होता है। दूसरा आपका असेंडिंग लूप ऑफ हेनले, डिसेंडिंग लूप ऑफ हेनले, कलेक्टिंग डक्ट्स, डिस्टल ट्यूब्यूल्स, जो डिफरेंट पार्ट्स होते हैं। तो इसमें क्या है, वोमन कैप्सूल्स में जो है ब्लड प्रेशर इंक्रीज होने से, क्योंकि एफरेंट और इफरेंट आर्टरी के डायमीटर में फ़र्क होता है और प्रेशर इंक्रीज होता है, उस प्रेशर इंक्रीज होने से ब्लड जो है फिल्टर हो जाएगा, और यूरिन जो फिल्टर होकर जो है आपके जो है लूप ऑफ हेनले में आएगा। जो लूप ऑफ हेनले में आएगा तो वहाँ पे वाटर का रीअब्जॉर्प्शन होता है, और वाटर का रीअब्जॉर्प्शन क्योंकि एक दिन में 100 ml वाटर लगभग वहाँ पे ग्लोमेरुलस से फिल्ट्रेट होता है, बट यूरिनेशन होता है 1 से 1.5 लीटर के आसपास या 2 लीटर के आसपास। तो हम कह सकते हैं कि 98% और 99% वाटर जो है वापस रीअब्जॉर्ब हो जाता है। तो वाटर जो है रीअब्जॉर्ब होता है सोडियम आयंस के साथ रीअब्जॉर्ब होता है असेंडिंग लूप ऑफ हेनले में, तो वहाँ से यूरिन का वॉल्यूम कम होता है। जो ड्रग्स जो हैं वो वहाँ पे यूरिन वॉल्यूम को कम करती हैं। कुछ ड्रग्स जो हैं वापस जो रीअब्जॉर्ब होने के बाद कुछ सिक्रीशंस होता है उसको वाटर को सिक्रीशन या अदर सिक्रीशंस को इनहिबिट करती हैं। तो ये वाटर का जो एक तरीके से वॉल्यूम जो मेंटेन करती हैं। तो ये जो डायरेटिक्स हैं वो क्या करते हैं, यूरिन का वॉल्यूम बढ़ाते हैं कि ये आपका जो रीअब्जॉर्प्शन है, ट्यूबुलर रीअब्जॉर्प्शन है, या वाटर का जो सिक्रीशंस है, रीअब्जॉर्प्शन है वाटर और सोडियम आयंस का, उसको कम करती हैं, उसको इनहिबिट करती हैं। हम देख रहे हैं इसका क्लासिफिकेशन, डायरेटिक्स को हमने क्लासीफाई किया कुछ केमिस्ट्री पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से और कुछ कैसे फार्माकोलॉजिकल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से। जैसे ऑस्मेटिक डायरेटिक जो कि ऑस्मेटिक प्रेशर बढ़ा दे, जिसको हम देखेंगे, डिस्कस करेंगे। मर्क्यूरियल डायरेटिक्स, एसिड फॉर्मिक डायरेटिक्स, कार्बनिक एनहाइड्रेज इनहिबिटर्स, बेंजोथायडाइजीन डायरेटिक्स, देन क्विनाजोलोन डेरिवेटिव्स, then thalidomide derivatives, hycelic diuretics, and anti-hormone derivatives or diuretics. Another, there is a potassium sparing diuretics and xanthine derivatives. तो ये हम 1 by 1 डिस्कस करेंगे। आज हम डिस्कस कर लेते हैं ऑस्मेटिक डायरेटिक्स को। ऑस्मेटिक डायरेटिक्स क्या होता है? ऑस्मेटिक डायरेटिक्स एक लो मोलिकुलर वेट कंपाउंड होते हैं जो कि क्या करते हैं, हमारे लीवर में मेटाबोलाइज नहीं होते हैं, बिना मेटाबोलाइज होकर के वो बाईपास होकर के बॉमन कैप्सूल से बाईपास होकर के लीनल ट्यूब्यूल में आ जाते हैं या असेंडिंग लूप ऑफ हेनले में आ जाते हैं। और वहाँ पर क्या कहते हैं, जो हमारा यूरिन का जो यूरिन होता है वो हाइपोटोनिक सॉल्यूशन होता है। वहाँ पे सॉलिड पार्ट कम होता है और लिक्विड पार्ट ज़्यादा होता है असेंडिंग लूप ऑफ हेनले में और ग्लोमेरुलस के बॉमन कैप्सूल के जस्ट पास में। तो वहाँ पे क्या करता है, जैसे कि बहुत ज़्यादा पूरा जो ब्लड है वो फिल्टर हो जाता है, एक्सेप्ट पूरा ब्लड हमारा फिल्टर हो जाता है एक्सेप्ट सेल्स, आरबीसी, डब्ल्यूबीसी, ये सेल नहीं होती, बाकी पूरा लिक्विड जो भी है वो सारा फिल्ट्रेट हो जाता है किसमें, आपका ग्लोमेरुलस में। तो ग्लोमेरुलस फिल्ट्रेट में सारा फिल्टर हो गया जाता है, लेकिन हम जानते हैं कि ब्लड में तो फ्लूइड चाहिए होता है, तो ये वापस रीअब्जॉर्प्शन होता है कहाँ पे, असेंडिंग लूप ऑफ हेनले में। और जो रीअब्जॉर्प्शन जो होता है उसी रीअब्जॉर्प्शन कैसे होता है, क्योंकि वहाँ पर जो है हाइपोटोनिक सॉल्यूशन होता है और जो ब्लड कैपिलरीज जो उसमें वापस फैली रहती है एफरेंट ब्लड वेसल, एफरेंट वेसल्स, वो क्या करती है, हाइपरटोनिक होती है और ये हाइपोटोनिक होता है। तो हाइपो से हाइपर की तरफ यूरिन जो है सोडियम आयंस और वाटर जो है वो रीअब्जॉर्ब हो जाते हैं और ब्लड वॉल्यूम रिड्यूस हो जाता है। तो इसी में जो है कौन कौन सी ड्रग हम देख सकते हैं कि जैसे कि पोलियोल्स मीन्स बहुत ज़्यादा हाइड्रोक्सिल ग्रुप्स वाले पोलियोल्स बोलेंगे उनको, जैसे कि मैनिटोल, सोर्बिटोल, आइसोसार्बाइड। मैनिटोल मेनोज से ही मैनिटोल बनता है, सोर्बिटोल मेनोज का जो ग्लूकोज का जो है अल्कोहलिक पार्ट है सोर्बिटोल, एंड आइसोसार्बाइड जो है सोर्बिटोल से ही बनता है। तो ये जो ड्रग है आइसोसार्बाइड जो है क्या कह सकते हैं, जो ड्रग है वो सोर्बिटोल से प्रिपेयर होता है। तो मैनिटोल, सोर्बिटोल, आइसोसार्बाइड ये क्या है, ये पोलियोल्स हैं और ये कह सकते हैं आप ऑस्मेटिक डायरेटिक्स हैं। ये लो मोलिकुलर वेट कंपाउंड हैं, देते हैं इनको यूरिन बिना मेटाबोलाइज होकर, क्योंकि ये क्या लिपोफिलिक है, सॉरी हाइड्रोफिलिक है, और बिना मेटाबोलाइज होकर के ब्लड में जैसे हम देंगे वो इमीडिएटली जो है फिल्टर हो जाएगा और फिल्टर होकर कहाँ आ जाएगा, नेफ्रॉन में, नेफ्रॉन के असेंडिंग लूप में, और वहाँ पे ब्लड का जो यूरिन का जो है हाइपरटोनिक उसको बना देता है हाइपोटोनिक की जगह। जब वो हाइपरटोनिक बन जाएगा तो क्या होगा, यूरिन जो ब्लड का रीअब्जॉर्प्शन है, सोडियम आयन का रीअब्जॉर्प्शन है वो नहीं हो पाएगा, और इस तरीके से जो वाटर का रीअब्जॉर्प्शन नहीं होगा तो यूरिन का वॉल्यूम बढ़ जाएगा और ये उसको करते हैं डायरेटिक एक्शन। इस तरीके से ये ऑस्मेटिक प्रेशर बढ़ा करके, वहाँ पे ऑस्मेटिक प्रेशर बढ़ा करके ये डायरेटिक एक्शन प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, इसलिए इनको ऑस्मेटिक डायरेटिक बोलते हैं। ये केमिकली ये सब जो है पॉलीहाइड्रोक्सिल ग्रुप होते हैं, पोलियोल्स होते हैं, मैनिटोल, सोर्बिटोल, आइसोसार्बाइड। तो आई थिंक आपको समझ में आया होगा, डिटेल में मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया है। इस तरीके से डायरेटिक एक्शन ये देता है अब हम नेक्स्ट क्लास में डिटेल सेक्शन जो है अदर सेक्शंस हैं वो डायरेक्टिक नेक्स्ट क्लास डिस्कस करेंगे। आई थिंक अगर कोई भी डाउट है प्लीज़ मुझे आप आंसर सकते हैं। आई थिंक दैट्स ऑल फॉर टुडे। थैंक यू वेरी मच।